Hi, I am Kevin Molesworth, the president of ISES Austin, here to talk a little bit about the Spirit of Excellence Award for Programming and Education. It felt amazing. Really just exhilarating, thrilling, jumping for joy. Anyone who was in the room at ISES Live when we won that award, I don't think ISES Austin isn't known for being really subtle, and we definitely celebrated that recognition with a lot of hoots and hollers, and we all just ran up to the stage, just really, really excited and very proud of what we had accomplished. We set up our year very specifically to grow and expand and enhance our offering from the programs and education standpoint. So the first thing is we've always tried to do at least 8 monthly educational meetings. Okay, a lot of times we would take off July. It's just kind of a downtime here in Austin. A lot of times we wouldn't do anything in March. That's again a very busy month here in Austin, Texas. And then June we have a gala, and then in December we have a holiday party. So, those 4 months, we didn't always do an educational meeting. Well, this year we decided, well, let's give it a shot. Let's expand. Let's do a few more. So we actually did 10 monthly educational meetings. We did do one in March. We did do one in July. So the only months that we didn't do were December and June, which is when our gala is. So that was the first thing. Then, of course, we did 10 of our networking happy hours. Attendance for those just was through the roof this year. We really stepped up our game on that. Those were really successful. And then another component that we added was something we call power lunches. And it's a small group, kind of a roundtable discussion. We pick a topic. Maybe it's about venue liability, or what are we seeing trending as far as food and wine pairings. I mean, it really could be almost anything. And we just get together at lunchtime, and we average 2 of those per month. So quite a bit. And the whole thing of having the monthly meetings and the networking meetings and these power lunches was really to expand the value proposition that each member of ISES Austin was getting for the money that they paid in annual dues. And I think it worked out pretty well. The content of our programming last year, one of the things we did there was, quite simply, we sent a survey out to all of our members and said, what do you want to learn this year? What is going on in Austin right now, in the next 3 months, in the next 6 months, in the next 12 months, what have you, that you want to know about? What do you want to learn? Okay? Now, we had also given them some topics as well, things that we thought, things that we thought they would want to learn. And so they took this survey, simple as that, and they scored everything that we had offered on a scale of 1 to 5, tallied the scores. We looked at all that to see which were the most popular things. We gave them space to write their own ideas in. And so mixing that with also what the content outline, what that suggests, what that recommends, what that needs to be, you'd be surprised. I mean, there was really a lot of melding of what they wanted to know versus what every event professional should know. It just worked. It just gelled. And so that way, by asking them what they want, we knew that when the time came to have those meetings, that attendance would be high. If you survey our membership, which is almost 250 strong, and 88% was one of the most popular responses. If 88% of our members say we want to learn this, then there's probably going to be a lot of people at that meeting. And that's really the simplest thing. We asked them what they wanted to learn about this year and matched that up with the content outline. And it worked. The way that the board of directors and the programs and education VP and director, and as well as their committee, worked in keeping everything in line for ultimate, the final submission process. I admit it's somewhat tedious, but it had to be done. I mean, every month, actually I'd say every week, we had an Excel spreadsheet that we were sharing where we went in and we just, here was the monthly meeting, this was the attendance, this was the feedback that we got, these were all the sponsors, these were the donors, just really keeping tabs on all that stuff, dates and times, because that's part of the SOE submission. You need to have dates, topics, times, how many people attended, all that stuff. And again, there was no way that you were going to be able to go back 2 weeks before the SOE applications are due and try to remember that or pull it all together from your constant contact or what have you. So we just did it. We kept an accurate tally in an Excel spreadsheet, nothing fancy. Everyone's got access to Excel, or you can use Google Docs, Google Spreadsheets, whatever you have. And we just kept it in there. It was simple enough. That was it. For me personally, I would say that my favorite program that we did last year was when we brought in Ken Christofferson to speak to our chapter. Very well attended meeting. Everybody knows Ken on an international level. He's an award winner. He's got great ideas. You could say creative mind, visionary. But just a likable guy too, just really candid and frank. And I think that that's something that people here in Austin really like. I think they like someone who can just talk to you openly. Don't sugarcoat things with us. Don't give me the politically correct answer. Just talk to us. Just tell us. And he was so candid. Ken was just really so frank and open with us, and gave a great presentation. I would say that one was my favorite. And again, I think a lot of people would agree with me. We did a lot of, I'm so proud of, all the things that we accomplished. But if I had to pick one, I would say that would be it, the meeting with Ken Christofferson. My tips and suggestions for putting together an award-winning submission, I'll say this for everyone, is you can't wait until the last minute to put this together. You're going to be busy. Something's going to come up. You're going to have clients that want to be on the phone with you. You're going to be buried in emails, whatever it is. It's a hearty submission. It's a lot of pages, 40, 50 pages, something like that. You're just not going to pull that off. I mean, you don't write your term paper, of 20 pages back in high school or college the night before it's due and expect to get an A. You're just not going to do that. You've got to be working on it all along. And I think another thing that would be critically important too is make it a team effort. Have everyone involved, all the members of the committee and of the board, have them involved, have their input. I think another one would be put an extra set of eyes on it, just for editing purposes, what have you, just to make sure that it looks good, it's concise, it's easy to understand, all that good stuff. Put an extra set of eyes on it. Those would be just a handful of my tips for writing a really impressive submission. As far as what we use to track the submission throughout the year, again, Dropbox is our best friend. We do have in our chapter a historian who essentially is responsible for maintaining images from all our events. I'll tell you this, we always have a professional photographer at all of our events. That helps. I mean, yes, the judges who are reading these Spirit of Excellence submissions, of course they're judging it on written content, but hey, eye candy helps. We all know that. These are long submissions. So especially if you have visuals of things that you can back up what you're saying with your words, I think that helps. And so we have the photographer gives the images or a link to the VP of Programs Education. They then give those images to the historian. That stuff is put in a Dropbox. Again, we have the Excel spreadsheet, which keeps everything in order what were the dates, what was the topic, how many people attended, all that good stuff. It's all in there. So definitely Dropbox is our friend. Images are definitely, I think, your friend when you're submitting for programs in education, without a doubt. Down the house, day upon day. I think winning the SOE for programs in education helps our chapter because really at the heart of it all, that's what ISES is. We are an educational organization. So if you're going to win an award, you want to win it for the very thing that is essentially the mission of said organization. And I think our chapter took a lot of great pride in winning that Spirit of Excellence award. Again, it's a pat on the back to say, you're doing it. You're doing exactly what we want you to do. You're putting good content out there. You've got great attendance. Your numbers are good. So clearly you're giving your chapter what they need. Not only for your members, they see, yeah, we're doing the right thing. Potential or prospective members, they're seeing, this organization just won an award for their educational content. Maybe I ought to go to that meeting that I've been thinking about going to. Certainly, yes, again, we did a great job of using that to our benefit as far as marketing our chapter. And the angels are descending like precious. The way in which we promoted the winning of the SOE, again, to members or prospective members, a lot of it's social media. There's no question, believe me, it was all over our Facebook page and Twitter, and there were Instagram pictures of us jumping around like, wild animals when our name was called, and then of course the story was picked up by some online avenues, so we had pictures on there, and that always looks good to have press clippings. So really just blasted it out through social media, through our we do a monthly newsletter that we send out to over 1,800 people that are in our contacts list. So believe you me, it was in there, and now even still moving forward, like it's still in all of our promotional materials that we use throughout this year. For right now, we're the reigning champs, so to speak, in programs and education. So we're going to hang on to that title, and it's going to be there in everything that we put out. If we're looking for sponsorship for something, we let people know we are an award-winning chapter, and when you put dollars to that, that's what you're supporting. You're supporting an award-winning chapter.